it's difficult as the person who writes it to sort of give reasons for that. I think that it's truly inspired. You know, Jerome and Tony and I put as much love into that book as possible from, you know, human beings. You get a lot of books that are, I mean, obviously it's easy to sort of grasp onto things that are familiar and keep reading the books we've been reading, and I hope that people can sort of shift gears enough to try something that's, I'm not saying it's necessarily the most innovative thing in the world, it's classic science fiction kitsch mixed with a sort of modern noirish sensibility, I think. But it's got all of our best ideas thrown in, and Tony and Jerome, you know, easily spent 2 or 3 days on a page. So if that means something, if the amount of love put into a book, I mean, otherwise it's difficult as the person who writes it. I hate self-promoting, because what am I going to do? I'm going to tell you it's a f***ing great book. I mean, I think it is, but that sounds incredibly weird and arrogant, I think.
So probably best not to say it then.
Did I just say it already though? But I found a way to surround it with sort of like a way to not say it, right? No, I think it's great, but what kind of a hag would say that about their own book? No, sir. Flash Gordon on a drinking binge in space meets aliens meets every Wally Wood EC book from the 50s slapped into a schlocky drive-in B-movie science fiction festival. Tales of the Fear Agent is, there's basically 2 arcs that we've touched on in Heath's life. There's his life on Earth when alien forces invaded, and then there's his life 10 years later when he's an alien exterminator scuttling through the universe, drinking away the pain of what happened during the invasion. Tales of the Fear Agent are the stories that happen in between those 10 years. I've written 2 or 3 of them, full-length stories that'll be collected in the trade. There's guys like Steve Niles and I'm dropping names at this point. Who else? Shane White, Kieran Dwyer, Hilary Barda, Paul Renaud. There's a ton of great guys who've contributed 8-page stories to it as well. Eric Powell did a really sharp cover. It's not just an anthology, it's a companion piece that tells important parts of his life, and I'm happy about it, because I think that in a lot of ways when you get those kind of books, they can often tend to feel like anthologies where the artist pulled in 10 of his friends to do random work, and this wasn't that at all. These are actual, and I know that continuity itself doesn't necessarily make it valuable, but the stories have all had a lot of love and affect the current continuity. That poster?
That poster.
Well, that's a poster by wonderful artist Matt Broom for our new superhero series, The End League. Little publisher Dark Horse Comic Books handling that one. That's basically 8 remaining superheroes in the apocalypse, as is pretty much everything I write taking place in the apocalypse. And the world's been overrun by villains. They've been in hiding in Astonish Man's citadel of seclusion, and they discover that the Hammer of Thor is still in play, and so it's a Lord of the Rings style quest as they make their way through this apocalyptic environmental wasteland through all of the various villain overlords that dominate the landscape in order to find the hammer and potentially save the day. Potentially. I would like to share some last thoughts. Look for my new book with Eric Nguyen coming from Dark Horse, Gigantic. Hopefully this fall. Gigantic mixes the fun of Ultraman and Godzilla with a nice new superhero, and I think people will enjoy it. It's a lot of destruction, and those of you who know Eric Nguyen's art know it'll be gorgeous.